Oh man, it's Sunday night. I'm out here at Gulf Shores, Alabama, and let's get weird. I'm your host, Daniel Crosier. This is COFOH Live Undead, and I'm here with my guest, Aeon Cruz. But first, you write something on my face. Aeon,
What's up?
how are you? How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. How are you doing?
Good, good. Yeah, you're out in Florida, hanging out with your family and dealing with the COVID, right?
Well, we don't have COVID yet. I mean, I guess knock on wood. But yep, we're just out here for quarantine and hanging out with the family.
Well, good, good.
Yeah.
And it's your dad's birthday, I understand?
It's his birthday tomorrow. Yeah, so we celebrated today with his fossil cake. He got a dinosaur cake that was orange and blue for the gators.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, tell him happy birthday from us.
Awesome, I will.
Nice. And tell us a little bit about yourself. For those who don't know you, where do you come from, and how did you get into music and acting?
Well, I come from the land of Oz, where everything is green. I came from Florida originally. Moved around for college and for different things, and ended up moving to Colorado to start a band. I actually dropped out of college to start a band. Good idea.
That's always
it's always a good idea to drop out of college to start a band and move to Colorado. So that's what I did. And I played in that band for a while and joined another band. And the manager of that band, Eric Smith, he actually had a part in a zombie film. And he said the lead actress didn't show up. I think she was from Florida, actually, ironically enough. He said she didn't show up, and I think you'd be perfect for this part. Do you want to do it? And I, was an actor growing up. I always wanted to be an actor. That was my dream as a child. So I said that sounded fun. And so I got the script. They picked me up. I don't think I even had a car at the time. I was a very broke musician. And they took me to Moab, Utah, to go film the zombie film Ravenous. And I loved it. It was just a joy to film. I mean, I wasn't even that savvy on horror at the time because, growing up, I was not really allowed to even watch scary movies. I was like totally sheltered in that aspect. And it was like, I wasn't allowed to watch anything PG-13, even when I was 13. And I kind of just got kind of irritated at it. And I think I just never really got into horror films. After that, I was scared. so I went and filmed the zombie film, never really seeing a lot of zombie stuff, and then loving the genre. And then after that, just really wanting to act and really just going out for a lot of parts and just watching every horror movie I could. And,
cool.
Just trying out for as many films as possible because, Denver has a great music scene, and still doing the band because I love playing music, but at the same time, I mean, it's if you're in a local band, it's no matter how popular your local band is, it's still like an expensive hobby. It's like you don't really make a lot of money doing that. You just do it because you enjoy it and you love it. You love playing shows, you love playing music, you just love it. So even after my first movie, which was an indie film. It wasn't a very high budget film. I made more money, you know, in one film than I did in 10 years of playing in a band. So it was like, wow, this is pretty cool. Yeah. And I wasn't even getting paid like a super amount of money. It was just, you don't make money in a band, you know, it's just, you know, for the love of it, which, I mean, I guess you do indie films for that reason too. But, you know, I did a lot of films not getting paid for the love of it. But it's just the difference, I guess, in that. But that's how I got started in film. And I just kept auditioning for films, just kept looking for more films to be in, kept networking with people, going to the theater shows, to movie events, and meeting people, and just networking and auditioning and doing all that.
That networking really does seem to be like a big component of it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Hey, Aeon, do you have? It sounds like I've got an echo coming on your end.
It's your end. I have Bluetooth. I can grab a Bluetooth speaker for sure.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it just sounded like I'm hearing me come through through your computer.
You're the host. You're supposed to come through.
What's that?
You're the host. You're supposed to come through.
Oh.
Oh my God. Okay, here I'm getting some.
Hold on.
Getting delivered.
No. Okay. I think it got corrected.
Okay.
I'm not picking it up anymore. That was really weird. Because we were talking for a bit, you know, before we went on live, and we didn't get any of that.
None at all. Maybe it's the hurricane. It's Edna.
Yeah, it probably is Edna. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. As you know, out here at Gulf Shores, you know, we're picking up hurricane debris. And just as we were going live, you and I, you know, the wind started picking up. It's just like, oh, this is not a good omen. Yeah, it's like, please, building, do not sway. Oh man! But so tell us a little bit too. Like, you know, you've been in a number of bands. I know of you and Glass Delirium, but you were in a few other bands before that.
Yes. Yeah. So my first band originally that I was in when I lived in Florida and I was in high school, I was in a band called Ayu Dayu. Oh. And that's when I learned to play bass. We actually played in a storage unit. We never played out. I think that now they play out. Well, not because of COVID, but I mean, they got a new bass player and they're a good band. You know, they play shows. But when I was in the band, we were, you know, teenagers. We were just playing in a storage unit, you know, just because it was fun. And I wanted to play bass. I probably sucked, but you know, I had actually, my friend was the guitar player. He wrote the music, and I was at all the practices anyway. And I said, if you guys need a bass player, just teach me how to play it. If I suck, you can kick me out, and I won't be mad. I swear. And I guess I didn't suck. He taught me the parts, and I played it. You know, I didn't write anything for that band, but I played the parts well enough to where, you know, I could jam with them, and we had fun. And it was wonderful. And then I moved away to college, and, you know, they got a new bass player, and they, you know, they are active now. But I moved to Arizona, and I was DJing, and I met the singer that was going to be the singer of Audioflux. And so we decided to move to Colorado and start the band Audioflux. And so we moved to Colorado, started the band Audioflux, and played some shows, and then we ended up splitting up, and I joined Glass Delirium and played with Glass Delirium for, gosh, I don't know. I feel like time goes by so quickly. Maybe 5-7 years. I don't know. Kind of a while. But they needed a bass player, and I, you know, gosh, I was broke at the time. I needed to buy a couch. I needed to buy a better couch because I was going to actually buy like a pull-out couch to sleep on. And I knew that Glass Delirium needed a bass player, so I used all my money to buy a bass so I could join the band.
Wow, that's
my priorities there. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, that really shows a lot of dedication, being able to do that shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I eventually got a couch. I mean, it seems like couches are easier to come by these days, but, you know, I was like, you know, I want to play with the band. So I bought a bass, and I learned the parts, and I auditioned, and I guess I didn't suck too bad, and they hired me.
That's cool.
Yeah, we played a lot of good shows together. We had a great time those years that we were together, and then we broke up, and that was pretty sad. But we had a great farewell show. Maybe I saw it on my news feed where it says, your Facebook a couple years ago or whatever, and I was like, oh, it was so fun. We had a great time together. Our fans were great. Our shows were just magical, and I mean, even the last show, it was beautiful. So everything there was great, and then. Gosh, a couple months later, maybe I got a message from the band Motogrator, and they needed a bass player for tour.
Yeah, I read that. Yeah, that's cool.
So I said, okay, that sounds fun.
Yeah, and you did that for a couple of years, right?
Oh no, that was just summer.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was the last 2 years ago.
Nice, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, so we did a couple U.S. tours. We did a couple months, and we did a couple big shows and stuff. So it was fun. A couple festivals. Yeah, it was fun. We had a fun time.
Nice.
Yeah.
With your previous bands, was that more? I knew a little bit of Glass Delirium, mostly from on Facebook, and then also what Groovy would share with me too.
Yeah.
And it seemed, I can't remember if it was like, heavy metal or, kind of like a version of new metal. I can't remember. Am I missing?
Audioflux was more like, I think that was more like electronic heavy metal is what Audioflux would have been. And then Glass Delirium was more like progressive hard rock is what I think that we would be considered. But I don't know. I think that every band tries to classify themselves as something, and everyone's like, oh, but we're so unique. But I mean, I guess there's so many different kinds of genres, but we're female fronted, and just amazing. Everybody in the band was just an amazing musician. They were just so good at music. It's just like, whoa, my God, I can't believe I'm playing with you guys.
Right.
So, that's cool. Right. You're the keyboard player, and then Michelle, the singer, was just incredible. I mean, they're all just incredible musicians, so it was just like cool to play with them for sure.
Nice. It sounded like you had a really nice tight-knit family unit.
Yeah, I mean I think that's the way it is with a band, but then again, you have 6 people in a band, it's like being married to 6 people. You just want to strangle everybody at the same time as love them,
So it is a family.
Oh yeah, and it's definitely not all like, unicorns and rainbows by any means, but I mean, you guys get through it, and you go through a lot together for sure. I mean, with traveling around together, and I mean, especially when you go on tour, you're in a van with somebody or with 5 other people, and it's like you don't really have your own private time, you don't really have your own space, you're around these people like 24 hours a day for months. It's just like you really get to know yourself, and you get to know the other people more than you ever really imagined you could.
Right. More than you would want to.
Yeah. Sometimes. But it's all cool. It's just, it's fun. It's all been fun.
Nice. We're getting a few comments coming in. Danny's saying, hey, Aeon. And then
hello.
Hello. People reacting to your story. Awesome from Kurt. Nice. Good for you. So, guys, if you have any questions for Aeon, feel free to post them, and we will share them. But so a couple of weeks ago, well, I mentioned earlier, before we went live, a couple of weeks ago, I was able to watch Monster Force Zero that just hit Amazon Prime. Anybody out there, not now, don't do it now, but after this show, go to Amazon Prime and watch Monster Force Zero featuring Aeon Cruz. and that that's a really fun kind of campy action adventure comedy sci-fi flick that has cosplayers going to a Comic-Con and then they have to go save the fucking world.
Yes, they do. They go save the fucking world. We saved it before COVID happened. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just so sad to watch it, because I ordered it when it came out because watch it. We filmed it 3 years ago, and so we were doing these interviews, and they're asking me questions, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't know. If it's been 3 years, I don't remember. They asked some question about who got their powers last. Do you get your powers last? And I don't know. I watched the movie 3 times probably. I watched it at 2 film festivals in LA, and then I watched it at a film festival in Berlin. So that, and that was in November, was the last film festival that I was at. So I don't remember, and I filmed it 3 years ago, so I don't know. I had to watch it to know what I was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, remind you what it's about if you're even in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who I play. I have no idea.
Yeah. That was a film that shot, I think, predominantly in Colorado Springs, right?
Yes, we did. Yeah, in Colorado Springs at Galaxy Fest. And so that was really cool. Yeah. And so watching it, it was like, I miss going to Comic-Cons because I'd always go to the Comic-Cons, and then filming at a Comic-Con was like, this is so cool.
Right.
And I guess a lot of our sound didn't end up coming out really well because there were so many people and so much noise. So a lot of it was, we had to go back and do it over, which, it is what it is. But just the whole vibe of being there. It's just, it was so cool, and just miss being in. The world is such a different place now. You don't have live events.
No.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, there's still small productions going on if you're able to socially distance successfully and sanitize and wear masks and stuff. Obviously, none or very little of the big Hollywood blockbusters are able to really get anything done right now because of this.
Well, I think what they have to do is they have to do a COVID test, and then you get on set and you have to quarantine for 3 days, and then you get another COVID test.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So, I don't know if you've had one of those, so they really suck.
Yeah. No, I haven't actually. So you've had to go through that. Already.
Yeah, and they stick a Q-tip up your nose. It's only terrible for a couple minutes, but then you're just like, I know. It's like, it's not awesome. It'd be worth it to work on a film for sure. Wow. Like giving all the COVID tests you want to.
Yeah. So during this, you've still been able to work then.
I flew to Denver
a
couple months ago to work on a film. I had a small part in a film called The Initiation.
Oh, cool.
And so, it was super cool that I was able to go do that, and I got to see some friends and hang out and meet some new friends and film a little bit. So that was like, because even a bad day on set, even a small role or just an extra role. Being in a film, being on set is better than just being at home or doing something uncool. It's just so much more fun.
Right. Yeah. Doing these interviews, I've been able to interview a lot of actors and actresses that are still been able to work, but because they've been able to work on really small productions that don't require a lot of people to be on set, and because of that, they're able to control the conditions so much easier and the appropriate
It's going to be weird seeing all the films coming out now and all the shows, how there's not going to be a bunch of crowds of people. You're not going to have those group shots. You're not going to have like all those extras there. Like The Walking Dead, you don't have like those giant hordes of zombies. You can't. You're going to have like 10 zombies. So it's going to be safer to be in Zombieland.
A whole cast of one. It's all about one zombie. His name is Bob. And You
And he
know,
has no intimate scenes either. He doesn't kiss other zombies.
yeah. The nice thing is he doesn't have lines either. He just
Yeah.
grunts and moans, and sometimes his entrails fall out, and then he stops and he puts them back in, and he staples, and then he walks on.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's a family film. It's
Very nice zombie.
everybody's
very
going.
zombie.
Well, it looks like you do have a lot of fans. So Kurt chimed in again. He said he loved it. Yeah, Monster Force Zero, and Kevin said he misses you.
Oh, I miss you guys.
So so I'm glad to hear that you're able, through this, you're able to work and still be able to stay really creative.
You know what I actually love about quarantine, and this is, I don't know if I'm like, everyone's going to hate me for being like, why do you love COVID? But the thing that I love is that I'm in Florida, and being that quarantine is happening, all the acting studios and things, they're offering classes online. Mm-hmm. So like, whereas when I was out in California, I was 3.5 hours from LA. So it's like, if I wanted to take an acting class in LA, it's 3.5 hours away. So right. The classes are usually at night. So it's like, I'd get out of a class at 9 o'clock. I'd get home at like 1 o'clock in the morning. And I think we were talking about driving before, and how I can't drive when it's dark. So it's like, I would have to sit in my car on the way home. And that just, ruins me for the whole next day. So it's cool now being in quarantine, just because they offer so many classes, and they're so much cheaper to take classes online. And you still get, you still kind of get that one-on-one. I mean, there's people in the class, so you see them on the Zoom class, and there's people in the class, maybe like 10, 15 people or whatever, and depending on what kind of class you're taking, but you still get that one-on-one, just, class with these people that I wouldn't be able to get. Yeah. Even living in California, where I was 3.5 hours away. So it's like, being in Florida, I'm able to talk with these people, to network with these people, and you can still do self-tape auditions and send them in. So
that's great. You get to expand on your craft, interact with people that normally aren't that available, and
absolutely,
now everybody is available.
Yeah. yeah. And I even saw like a lot of like the casting directors they're doing workshops and stuff, so they can meet people, because they've been kind of out of work too. They need to meet new people and new faces and stuff. So
right.
Yeah, so that's been pretty cool.
That's cool. So this new film is Initiation, right? Coming out from Denver.
Oh yeah, so I think that comes out in 2021. That has Vernon Wells and Richard Tyson in it.
Nice.
So that's gonna be really cool. It's a kind of a horror film. I didn't even read the whole script, so I don't really know all the details of it. But from the scene that I was in, it's pretty cool. So nice. What I do know about it, I don't know if it's a secret, but
that's cool.
Yeah, it's very dark and witchy.
Well, good. Are you working towards some other film projects right now, or?
I have some things that have been on hold since quarantine started, so I'm still waiting on those to, I guess, open back up. And in the meantime, I've just been kind of trying to get better at my craft, and learn as much as I can, taking different classes and things online to try and just stay motivated and productive, because when quarantine started, I was like, sweet, give me the ice cream and the Netflix, like, this is great. No, I don't want to do that anymore. So it is kind of great though, binge watching shows and stuff.
I've certainly Elise and I have been doing a lot of that too, of course. I can't even remember what the hell we binge watched recently. I guess Haunting of Bly Manor or something, the follow up to Haunted.
I heard that was really good, but I didn't like the trailer. The trailer was like really. The trailer made it look like it wasn't very good, but I've heard a couple of people say it was really, really good.
It's a good follow up. Of course, the first season, because they're now breaking up. everything into anthologies, right? So the whole season is its own self-contained story. Second season is a different self-contained story. And so it's as a follow-up, it's not bad. It's good by itself. Doesn't need any association with the previous season. I prefer it to things like and a lot of people out there will probably be disgruntled with me, but like American Horror Story. I'm not a big fan of that series. It's they tend to throw everything at you, including the kitchen sink, whether it makes sense or not.
Yeah.
So I like following, when it's a TV series like that where it's long-winded and you've got character development. And I like to invest in the characters and empathize with them instead of hating everybody in the show and not caring if anybody lives or dies. I find that's unfortunate.
Yeah. We just finished Cobra Kai, and before that, that was cool. Yeah, I'm sad that happened. Yeah, and then before that, we started The Walking Dead, which I say I'm the last person on earth to watch The Walking Dead. I never watched it because I remember trying to watch the first episode, and it was like there's like a cop sitting in a car, and I was like, this isn't zombies, and I didn't sit through like 10 minutes of it, so I was like not into it. But we watched up until like season, I don't know, 4 or 5, and then we stopped, and I'm on hold right now to watch it.
Yeah, well, there's so many of those TV shows. They really kind of milked it for what it's worth. I used to host Walking Dead watch parties. I think in downtown Denver.
Really?
At a Mexican restaurant. Yeah, so I'd have guests, not unlike yourself, come and interview them, and then we'd watch the show and then
comment on it, and then you comment on it during the interview.
I don't know. I can't remember what we did.
You drink a lot of margaritas. I don't know what happened.
I can't remember. I can't even remember. What season I hosted.
Yeah.
So.
I guess that if you were doing that when it came out, that was like years ago. So I'm like way late on the whole.
Yeah, it was a while ago. I had more hair back then.
You have a hat. You grew a hat.
I grew a hat. It covers those areas.
Hey, me too. Me too.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I love your panda bear comb over. That's good.
I grew a whole bear on my head. What happens when you move to Florida?
Yeah. Oh dear. Ooh. Florida, man.
Kind of strange out here. The weather's actually really nice right now because it's kind of rainy and overcast. But oh gosh, when I got here, it was just a million degrees and there's bugs everywhere. So got the bugs kind of under control. We live kind of by not a swamp, but some sort of weird like river. I don't even know what it is, but it's not a house. It's like a tree type bushy area that I think is where all the mosquitoes in the whole world live. So you walk outside and it's like, 6 o'clock in the morning, you go outside, they're on you, 8 o'clock at night, they're on you. It's like you can't go outside and not get eaten by mosquitoes. It's the worst thing in the whole world. And then inside of my house, you can't keep fruit out. There's no fruit. You can't keep fruit or vegetables out because the little bugs. And I don't think they're gnats because they're like bugs that have like legs and arms and like little lives that they're living.
That's your protein with the fruit.
I think I've eaten a lot of them, and I've gotten a couple of them up my nose. And I don't like when they go up my nose. It's so terrible. It's like a COVID test.
Oh yeah, that's no good. That's no
it's
good.
The worst. I don't like them on my nose. I don't.
Yeah. Oh, that's no fun. The when you go in or you send in an audition tape for a film, with that process, is it pretty standard, or are you able to like choose and pick, roles, depending on what you want to do, what kind of meat you want out of that role?
You mean what character you want to play?
Yeah. What are you looking for when you're looking to be in a movie and do? Do you have a lot of flexibility with the creativity of it?
Oh, you know what? I guess. I mean, I guess that's kind of like a two-part question because
Right.
a lot of a lot of the indie films, they post the character breakdowns, and I mean, like even for Monster Force Zero, I auditioned for the Hot Babe character. And I read for Hot Babe, and they were like, "Nope, you read for Ammo," and it was all like, I mean, Ammo's completely a different. She's like a whole different person, like with her whole vibe, just being more aggressive and more. And I just rolled with it, and I guess I suck at that one. So that's the character I got. But I mean, even with the breakdowns, you would pick. With the bigger films and things, your agent sends you the breakdown and says, you're auditioning for this person. So I mean, I guess it depends on that hand. And then with creativity on the character, I think that it just is really up to your interpretation of how you read for them.
Right.
So, I mean, even seeing that on my Zoom classes, I've seen it a lot because there's a lot of really good actors in LA. Oh my God, there's like this one girl in my class last week, she was reading the same part that I was reading for. It's just a class, we're not auditioning, but I was just like, whoa, the way she like broke down what the, how the character came across was like completely opposite of how I broke it down. And I just loved it. It was just so awesome because it's the same lines, you're reading the same lines, but it just made me think, when casting directors get their videos, how many different ways people read the same character, which is interesting because when I was living in California and I did go to LA for auditions, I remember going to one audition and I was supposed to be like a biker or something. And so I went in there thinking, cool, I got that look down, I'll wear my leather jacket and I'll go in there with my boots and, my studded belt. And like there were 50 other people there that same blonde hair, same leather jacket. They picked the same outfit out that I did. So, the only thing that's going to make you stand out is your, the way you act, I guess, because everybody looked the same. I mean, there was no difference in really any of the way I looked from probably 30 of those girls. And I was like, oh my God, it's so intimidating to be there because there's not only everybody looks the same and they're dressed the same, but there's a million of them. There's just so many of them and everybody's so good too. So it's like, it's very intimidating. So I guess that the character, breakdowns, really just the way you read it would be your creativity going into it. With Ammo, though, I gotta say, with Ammo for Monster Force Zero, I did get some creative freedom on the costume. So they kind of gave us, a picture of what they wanted the character to look like. And I think that Ammo was actually drawn. Her hair was like in a ponytail down, and she was kind of more tame than my look that I went with on the like strappy like leather. Like belt buckles, and I had like the studded gloves and everything. But I mean, it was like basically, what they had come up with as the idea, and then I kind of like twisted it to make it more, the style that I guess I saw Ammo, and I thought she looked pretty badass like that. And they liked it too. I guess they didn't think it sucked too bad, and they let me wear it.
It looks great. Did you design your own costume then?
So they gave me the belt. It was like an ammo belt, and they gave me the silver pants, and they kind of wanted they wanted the boots. So the boots, and I had I'm wearing this like weird, like, I don't know what it is. It's like a leather top thing that's not really, because I'm wearing something underneath it because it's like a see-through, like if you wore it by itself, but I had worn that with something else when I did a performance in Vegas like the year before. So it was like something I owned, and I was like, this would work perfectly.
Nice, yeah.
And then I did the poof balls, like with the hair kind of hanging down to be kind of like the Chun-Li from Street Fighter esque, I guess. And then the pigtails into braids, kind of to be like Harley Quinn esque, you know. So that's where the hairstyle came from. Yeah, and then the bracelets and all that I kind of had, because I kind of own stuff like that. I guess that's more of my style anyway. The darker twist on it, I guess. And then I took my bat, was, you know, what they gave me, the bat, and it had like a holster with it. So I took some gaff tape, some red and black gaff tape, and I taped it up and you know, put some cool design on it, and took my belt buckle, not my belt buckle, my shoe buckles. There were some like weird studded shoe straps that I had, and I tied them around my bat. So I decorated my bat and stuff, you know. Yeah, so yeah, it was a combined effort, I feel.
That's cool that you're, you know, able to have that much influence and be able to make it your own. It sounds like, you know, on these type of projects, there's a lot of collaboration, because, you know, there's so many disciplines and such limited resources. You got to bring everybody in.
Absolutely, I think so. And I think a lot of the indie projects too, you know, it's like, it's a passion project, you know, like everybody's there because they want to be, and because they love it, not because they're getting paid like, you know, hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars or whatever it happens to be. Like, you're there because you want to be, and you love everybody there, and you know, you have a blast with them, and you just want to create art. So you know, everybody kind of it just is respectful of what everybody else thinks, and just is open to ideas and ways of thinking. It's pretty cool.
Nice. Looks like we got a few more comments. Darren said that it was perfectly splendid. And looks like Joseph says, I was in Monsters.
Oh, he was. That's true. And then we had a tea party at the Galaxy Fest.
Todd was saying, good to see and hear you again, Aeon.
Yay, Todd.
Yeah, you got everybody's, you know, seems to be chiming in and everything. The you know, when you initially moved to Denver to start, you know, the band, what was the main, you know, driving force for that? Because that was when was that? Like 2000 sometime?
Oh, gosh, I'm bad with years. Everything kind of blends together for me, I guess.
I can understand right now. Every day blends in. Every day is like Monday, Sunday.
2006, maybe?
Oh, okay.
I want to say, does that sound right? But you wouldn't know. So,
I wouldn't know.
Probably 2006-ish, I think. Yeah, because I moved to Colorado, and there was like a big blizzard that winter. And I remember that was like the first time I saw snow, really, because I was from Florida.
Right.
And I remember the snow was like up to my knees. And I was like, oh my God, where am I? And I got pregnant that year. So then I had my daughter in 2007. So that would make sense that I moved there in 2006. But basically, so I met the singer, and we got married. I married my singer before we moved to Colorado. So we kind of got married in Arizona and decided to start a band. We decided to move to Colorado and start a band. And he was from Colorado, and he had a guitar player here.
I see.
Or not here. I'm not in Florida. I'm not in Colorado, but I always say here like I'm in Colorado. But he had a guitar player in Colorado that he knew, and he knew musicians, and he knew the whole. I mean, I guess the whole music scene. He had been in a popular band before that, so he wanted to move to Colorado to start a band. So I said, okay, because I don't know if you've ever been to Arizona, but it's pretty hot there.
Yeah.
It's not like Florida heat either. It's like, I don't know. It's weird to compare it because I grew up in Florida, so I didn't notice the humidity until I moved back. But being in Arizona, you're kind of like,
dry heat.
Why does anybody live here? I mean, in the wintertime, it's great. And there's a lot of like nightlife. It's like mini Vegas, but I mean, it's like hell on earth. Like nobody wants, like, I don't know why anybody would want to live there during the summertime at all.
Yeah. It just goes to show you how, air conditioning ruled the West.
Yes, it does. Yes, oh my God. And Florida too. I couldn't imagine not having air conditioning. But in California, we didn't have air and there was no problem. Sometimes it was cold. We had to turn on the fireplace.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's pretty interesting. I wouldn't have expected that.
Yeah, perfect weather all the time.
Nice. That's pretty
it's not nice because I live in Florida right now. Tell me it's nice out
there. Well, at least appreciate the moments that you had in California where you had perfect weather.
That's true. It is nice right now because I like when it rains. I do. But sometimes it'll rain here and then it'll stop raining. It's like it rains for 5 minutes. Like I want more than 5 minutes. I mean, I guess I shouldn't complain. But
give me 10. Set the timer for 10.
Yeah. It's 11 today, please. Yeah. We have little frogs too. I like the little frogs.
Oh yeah.
The little squishy frogs everywhere. They're pretty cute.
Little squishy frogs. Nice.
Yeah.
Aeon, can you tell us, like, you seem like somebody who's been able to do a lot, really motivated, very determined, and but what influences do you draw on?
Oh gosh, what influences me to be motivated?
As far as like film, music.
Oh gosh, that's a hard question. I don't know. I mean, I know that I enjoy being active in things. I would rather, like I said, be on set in a film being like a background actor. I drove to New Mexico a couple times to be a background actor in a big production just to be on set because I'd rather be on set, be an extra getting paid $8 an hour than, be at home doing something that's not fun. But, and I mean, even that I think is a great experience to just see how everything works. I mean, that's awesome. Like they're filming a night scene, or they're filming a day scene, but it's like pitch black outside. So they make the whole scene look like it's daytime. It's like, whoa, it's so crazy. And then the people that you meet there, it's just like pretty cool to see, them living that life and they're doing the thing, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't know what motivates me. I guess I should figure that out, and I should probably make like a 5-year plan too. I know that's one of the things, and a budget. You got to make a budget too, because that's what adults need to do. But I don't have one of those.
We're adults now.
I don't know how to do it. I don't know. I just kind of live in the moment. I just think it sounds fun. I don't know. I want to do everything.
Yeah. You mentioned that when you were a kid, you didn't watch a lot of horror movies, I think. What did you enjoy when you were a kid? What films did you like?
What films did I like? I was gonna say I played a lot of Candyland. I was really good at it. It was I could beat anybody at Candyland. I was so good at that. But that's not a film.
Yeah,
what films do I like?
Just brought Candyland with us too.
It's good stuff. What films? I watched Beetlejuice a lot. I think I watched movies that my mom liked, and my mom was always like watching like G-rated movies, but Beetlejuice was a big one. There was like, I don't know, that's like really the only one I think I can remember. I feel like, I don't know what else I watched. The Labyrinth. The Worst Witch. Yeah, and The Worst Witch. That was really cool.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot about The Worst Witch. Isn't there a TV series too?
There is, yeah. But this was like the original and had Fairuza Balk in it before she was like Fairuza Balk. Yeah, that's
right. I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I tried to make my daughter watch it, and she was like, "This is so old. Like the recording's so bad." I don't know if I have it like on VHS recorded off TV from like ancient years, but it's like she wouldn't really sit and watch it. And I was like, it's such a good movie. I watch it. It's so good. But The Worst Witch, The Labyrinth. Gosh, yeah, and Beetlejuice, I think. So they're kind of like, I mean, that's kind of like little kid horror, right?
Yeah. Well,
sort of, I don't know.
It certainly does, inform that. I mean, you've got those horror-based fantasy, genre comedies. Even like movies in more, well, actually, it's older than that. But your Abbott and Costello films that are just slapstick comedies, but you've got like Abbott and Costello meet Frankenstein, Abbott and Costello meet the Wolfman and stuff, and
like
then
Scooby-Doo.
yeah, and then American Werewolf in London, which is what a great horror movie, but it's also got a comedy too.
Yeah, that's true, huh?
And the use of music in that is just stellar too. So I was interviewing a couple weeks ago Julianne Prescott, and we were talking about like with horror movies today, you really miss out on the soundtrack. Those films that have that key song like Pet Sematary from the Ramones, And it's just like, oh yeah, that's what a great playlist to have, especially during Halloween. Granted, it's post Halloween, but really every day is Halloween.
So true. That is very true. Yes.
So none of that needs to ever end, and just because the Christmas stuff comes out in August to all the stores, fuck it. Halloween,
There's a Nightmare Before Christmas. That's what at Glass Delirium. When I joined Glass Delirium, we used to cover This Was Halloween.
Nice.
Every show we would cover it. It was fun. Yeah, I wish that was awesome. On video, or we made a video of that somewhere. That was a lot of fun.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it's music and film have such a wonderful intersection. And you being of both disciplines too, I'd imagine it's got to be wonderful to see how sound plays into film, and I think it's when you bring in music into film, I mean it's so instant, like it transports you to a certain feeling or emotion.
Oh, yeah, like the Monster Force Zero film. That soundtrack, all that 80s music behind there, that was, I think his name, I don't want to mess it up, it's 2016, I think is what his music name is, but he wrote that whole soundtrack and it won a couple of awards. It's incredible listening to that music. It like totally, you watch the film and you're just transported into the 80s listening to that, listening to the music in the background. It's crazy.
Yeah.
They did a really good job with it.
You think of like even John Carpenter's Halloween, because he's scoring his own movies too, as well as directing. The Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho, especially the shower scene, but the whole movie is just amazing.
Oh yeah.
There's. There's a few more examples too of just key, rock songs and, pretty well placed in film and horror movies that are so key. And now they're escaping me because I am old and probably should go to bed. Daddy needs to go to bed.
No, it's the hurricane. It's not age, it's the hurricane.
Oh, is it a hurricane? Shut up.
Hurricane. It's just it's clouding my memory.
That's right. There's a lot of other things clouding my memory too. Lack of caffeine is one of them.
Right. Yes.
So, geez, you just got a slew of other comments. Let's see here. So, Kevin, I love Monster Force Zero. You are awesome. And Mark says hi. And,
hi, Mark.
And then Randy says, what's up?
What's up?
You still got a lot of, I'd imagine most of them are from Denver, so you've got a lot of friends and fans out here.
I miss Colorado, you guys. Everybody's like, oh, but it's snowing, or oh, it's so cold, and I'm like,
Yeah, it'll be snowing here, come January. Well, we did get a couple early snowstorms.
yeah.
All right, yeah, it's Colorado
Oh,
weather.
it's no big deal. Oh, it's no big deal to you because you're not in Florida. I would always complain about the cold though, but I always love the snow. Snow is cool. And then it's neat that you can, after it snows, you have your snowman built, and then the next day you're, hanging out with your snowman, you got a t-shirt on because it's like back to 70 degrees.
Right. It's and then you look at your snowman. It's like, what are you melting about?
We'd always what my favorite thing to do in the yard was because we had this fence I guess we had this fence in the whole area, so we had a Pac-Man board. So we'd always carve out a Pac-Man maze, and we'd play Pac-Man tag.
Yeah.
So one person would be the ghost and one person would be the Pac-Man, and we'd nice. And we'd leave. Yeah, so it'd be pretty fun. I miss that. I do. Cool. I miss the snow.
Yeah. The only way you're going to get snow out in Florida is if you get that, that fake snow. Just make your own.
Yeah, it's not the same. I would even get that in Colorado because I really like snow, but it's weird. I feel like I got a bunch of chemicals in my hand.
Ooh, yeah. That's no good.
No good. But I guess windows.
Now, one thing that we were talking about, Groovy from Groovy TV. He recently passed away and everything. And you were talking to me about what a big impact he had on you, especially with music. But weren't you in his horror TV show on American Horror Channels, or am I wrong?
No, we were. I think he played some of our interviews because he actually interviewed. He interviewed Omid and I, who played Quiplash, and me, because he originally, was doing bands, and then he moved into the Comic-Cons and stuff. So he started interviewing people at the Comic-Cons. So he interviewed us. That was one of the things that was really cool about Groovy is you could call him and be like, hey, we're trying to promote this. We were giving away tickets for Comic-Con with Monster Force Zero, and I messaged him on Facebook or something, and I asked him if he'd interview us, and he did. He interviewed us at Breckenridge Brewery, and Omid and I went out. We were dressed in our costumes, and
nice.
I saw him actually on the Initiation film too when I was out. So I had seen him. That was the last time I saw him. And every time you saw Groovy, it was you just old, it was like you didn't miss the beat seeing him, And then I had talked to him a couple weeks later, and he told me to hit you up, which is crazy. Yeah. So
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but he interviewed all my bands, all my bands I've been in multiple times. I brewed his beer with him. He did the purple beard brew, and Pat and I, Pat from Switchpin and our Glass Delirium drummer, we went and brewed his beer with him. And and then the last couple of interviews we did. So he would always be down. He'd always be like, let's do it. And he'd always be come up with these crazy questions and just, network you with people and just,
awesome. He was always very supportive of anything creative, that anybody.
You know what else? My daughter did a horror film with him.
I was just getting to that.
Yeah. She's like, don't you want to interview me? I did a film with him. She's like, I want to tell him how cool he was. I was like, I know.
Oh.
Yeah, but she did Shovel with him, and he was cool. He's just always cool, and he's just always, you go to a show, he'd always be at the shows, and you'd always see it. At the beginning, I guess at the beginning when I first moved to Colorado, you'd see him at all the local shows, and then later on, and you'd always love to see him. You'd always be like, hey, I'm so happy to see you. Yes, Crewie's here, And then later on, and a couple shows I went to with him, I was his photographer because I used to do photography. So, on his early interviews, I'd be one of his photographers.
Yeah.
And that was like about 14 years ago. And then, he started, doing more stuff, and you would see him at the big shows, and then he'd come to our shows, and I'd be like, yeah, Kirby's at our show, and we'd all be excited, We'd be so happy to see him, he's at our show today. Yeah, it's cool.
That's absolutely fantastic. Yeah. Aeon, we're just about to start wrapping up and everything, but where can people follow you on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram more often than I'm on Facebook, but I do have a Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Aeon Cruz official, and then my Twitter and my Instagram is /Aeon Monster, and so I'm on there more often than other social media platforms, I guess. So if anyone wants to DM me and they tell me about the film, they should go watch Monster Force Zero. It's on pre-sale right now on Amazon, but you can stream it on video on demand on Amazon Prime, Xbox, Comcast, Cox, like so many ones that I've never heard of before, but different platforms. But I think Amazon Prime, YouTube. I think I got mine on YouTube, so I can watch it on my TV or my phone.
Sweet.
Wherever I want to watch it.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I watched it on Amazon Prime, and I highly recommend everybody after this interview go watch that damn film.
And message me and tell me how you like to leave a message. Yeah, I think that what we're trying to do is get people to comment how they liked it.
Right.
You can lie and say you loved it. Just kidding. You can say whatever you want. But I mean,
5 stars.
It is, 500. It is a fun film. It's 80s inspired, and it's super cool. I mean, especially knowing like all the people in it, or being at Galaxy Fest, and there's a lot of people that came out for the party scene, or the furries are in it, and a lot of our friends came out to just be part of the movie, and it's cool. It's the film has a lot of love behind it. It's cool.
It's not a party until the furries show up.
The furries are so cool.
That they are. Wasn't one of them an alien? I can't remember.
The one that we follow, Furry, yes, I think he might be an alien. But I mean, that whole group of furries, like, they do that dance number, and I mean, it was cool. Like, they had this choreographed dance they were doing, and it was like, oh, this is so awesome, and I'm dancing, and we were having a good time. It was fun. I mean, like, every day of filming was fun, but that party scene was like by far, it was so super cool.
Yeah, that movie's, absolutely, just such a fun time, and what a great way to escape,
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. And just watching it again and just remembering all the like behind the scenes stuff that happened. It's just like, oh my God, that was like such an amazing time in life to be there,
Yeah.
So.
Most definitely. Well, and then next year we get to look forward to seeing you in the initiation.
Oh, yes. 2021. Is that next year? It's so close. It's close. It's close, yes.
Yeah. 2020 can't go away soon enough.
No, it's still here.
Yeah.
We got Christmas, right? Christmas.
I guess. Yeah. There's
Christmas. Christmas is fun.
Well, Aeon, thanks for being so generous with your time. And
thank you so much. Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. It's been fun learning more about who you are and what you do, and all the cool creative avenues in art that you're sharing with the world.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah,
thank you much for this.
Yeah, appreciate it. And everybody who's out there in Facebook and YouTube land, thanks for tuning in and interacting with Aeon and I.
Thank
you. Make sure you go out and watch Monster Force Zero. I highly recommend it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
you'll enjoy it. It's I also got to make sure to comment about my producers. Thanks so much to Summer Twin Talents out there for sponsoring the show. and my producers, Stefan Santa Cruz and Amanda Armstrong, for helping, put this thing together. And for all you guys out there, during this tough time, just be good and be kind to each other. Aeon, stick around for a second.
Great. Thank you.